Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Bytes.
This time we're going to really get into Battle Royale. It's a wild one.
It's a wild one, and I know we say that a lot, but this one,
Yeah.
really takes you there.
This one, I mean, it's disturbing and fascinating and all the things.
So we're talking about the book by Koushun Takami, Battle Royale. And for those of you who haven't read it, just a real quick rundown. It's set in this dystopian Japan where a class of ninth graders is forced into this government program.
Right.
It's called the program, where they have to fight to the death on a deserted island.
Yeah, they're not messing around.
Only one survivor.
And he uses this, really extreme scenario to get at some really deep stuff,
Right.
Survival, in the face of just unimaginable cruelty and the way, friendships fall apart and nobody can trust each other and
Yeah.
the, psychology of violence and, the trauma. And it just really makes you think about what's good and what's evil, when the stakes are that high.
Yeah, it's dark.
It's dark.
It's super dark.
But it's so good.
So for our listeners out there, just a heads up, this is definitely a book for mature readers.
Yeah.
Given the intensity and the graphic content.
For sure.
So today, we're going to trace the whole story from beginning to end, unpacking the themes as we go. But let's start with how this horrific game, this program, actually begins.
Yeah. Well, it starts really normal, actually, which makes the whole thing even more disturbing.
Right.
It's a class, they're on a field trip.
Just a normal field trip?
Just a regular field trip, yeah. And they get gassed on the bus, and then they wake up on this island totally confused.
Yeah, it's deserted.
Totally deserted, yeah.
Instead of teachers, they have this new instructor, Kinpatsu Sakamochi, and he's explaining the rules, but he's got this weird, cheerful vibe.
It's so creepy, right? He gives them all these random weapons and these collars that track where they are and can explode, and he gives them a map of the island with all these zones that are deadly at certain times.
He's all designed to keep them in line.
Okay.
And just to make sure they get it, he has a soldier execute a student right there.
Oh my God.
Just to set the tone.
Brutal. So brutal.
That's the whole vibe of the book, brutality and fear and death is just hanging over everybody the whole time.
And it's in this environment we meet Shuya Nanahara, our main character.
Right.
And at first he's just horrified,
Yeah.
He wants to protect Noriko Nakagawa, a girl he has feelings for.
He just wants to escape, like I think most of us would.
Yeah.
But he figures out pretty quickly that there's no easy way out.
Right, he's trapped.
Totally trapped.
And then there's this other character, Shogo Kawada.
Yeah.
He's a transfer student, and he's mysterious.
So mysterious.
But it turns out he's already been through the program before.
Yeah. He's like Shuya's guide through this whole crazy thing, but you never really know what he's thinking or what he's going to do.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, can anyone be trusted in a situation like that?
Nope.
So as the game goes on, you see how it affects the different students.
Yeah, Kazuo Kiriyama.
Yeah.
He is so cold, so ruthless.
He seems to actually enjoy the killing. It's terrifying, how this program turns this kid into a straight-up killing machine.
Makes you think about nature versus nurture. Right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Then you've got Shinji Mamura. He's the rebel.
Yeah.
Super resourceful, and he's using his hacking skills to try and beat the system.
Yeah, he's a little spark of hope, showing that you can still fight back.
Right.
Even in this messed up situation.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it shows you how hard it is to actually beat the odds.
Yeah. And then there's Mitsuko Suma.
Oh, yeah. She's something.
She uses her beauty and her charm as weapons.
Yeah, she's playing the game.
She's manipulating people to survive.
And it's so disturbing because it makes you ask, how far would you go, if you were facing death?
Right. Is it just survival or is it something worse?
It's hard to say.
It's the game itself is designed to bring out the worst in people.
Yeah.
Strip away any sense of morality.
Exactly.
So as the story unfolds, you see this descent into chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Alliances are changing constantly.
You can't trust anybody.
Right. And it makes you think about friendship in this context.
Right.
There's this line in the book, friends come and then they go.
Yeah.
It just sums up how fragile relationships are when you're under that kind of pressure.
That line really stuck with me.
Me too.
It's so simple, but it says so much about how this environment just destroys human connection.
Totally. And then, of course, we have the climax of the book, this huge showdown between Shuya Noriko and Shogo against Kazuo Kiriyama.
It's everything's been building up to this moment, and you're just on the edge of your seat, who's going to make it out alive?
And then just when you think you know how it's going to end, Shugo betrays them.
Oh, man, that was crazy.
Right. Total betrayal, and it turns out he's been using them the whole time.
It's such a shock. Like, you realize you never really knew him at all, and it makes you question everything he did.
Well, was he ever really on their side?
Who knows?
But somehow, Shuya and Eriko managed to escape.
Yeah, but it's not over.
Right? They're fugitives now, hunted
Right.
by the government.
Exactly. It shows how this game just keeps haunting them.
And it really highlights the book's message about authoritarianism.
Yeah, the government's control goes way beyond the island. It's everywhere.
So it's not just a simple story about surviving a game.
No way.
It's about the dangers of unchecked power.
Exactly, how it can dehumanize people and manipulate them.
It's a powerful message, and it feels really relevant today.
It really makes you think about the systems we live under and how they could be abused and what our responsibility is to resist that.
So for those of you listening, what are your thoughts on all this? The breakdown of trust, the impact of violence, this critique of authority?
Yeah, what stands out to you?
What are you taking away from this so far?
And how do you think you would handle being in a situation like the program? Could you hold on to your humanity, or would you just do whatever it took to survive?
These are all important questions to think about as we continue our deep dive into Battle Royale.
Definitely join us next time as we get into the characters even more and all the complicated relationships that form and then fall apart under this crazy pressure.
Yeah, it's a wild ride.
You said it. One thing that really gets me about Battle Royale is that Takami doesn't just focus on the fighting and surviving. He, really gets into the emotional stuff, the psychology of it all.
Yeah, it's not just about killing, it's about the choices they make.
Exactly.
How they deal with all the messed up things they have to do.
Totally. And I think to really get the book, you have to look at some of these characters and their stories.
Yeah.
Like Mitsuko Suma, she's the one who uses her sexuality to manipulate people, right?
Yeah, she's complicated. On one hand, you can see her as a survivor just doing what she has to, but then she's also ruthless.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like when she kills Megumi Eto,
Yeah, that seems really hard to read.
it shows how the program twists their morality. Like
Right.
survival becomes the only thing that matters.
It's like the ultimate test.
It makes you wonder, was she always like that, or did the game make her that way?
That's the question that hangs over the whole book.
Right.
Are these kids bad, or are they just victims of the system?
And then you've got someone like Kazuhiko Yamamoto,
Yeah, he starts off like the typical jock.
but his story goes in a whole other direction.
His thing with Sakura Ogawa, it's like one of the only times you see real love in the book.
It's pretty beautiful.
It is, and then they decide to die together.
Heartbreak.
Rather than be part of the killing, it's like a big screw you to the whole program.
Yeah, it shows how powerful love can be, even in this horrible situation.
And it makes you think about free will. Like,
Wait, do they have any choice?
are they really in control, or are they just pawns in this game?
And then you've got Kazuo Kiriyama.
Yeah, he's the opposite of Kazuhiko.
He's just pure violence, no empathy at all.
It's like he becomes what the program wants him to be,
Yeah, like a warning sign.
showing what happens when you lose your humanity.
But even with him, Takami doesn't give you easy answers.
Nope.
We don't know why he's like that.
Right.
Is it nature nurture? Who knows?
That's what makes the book so disturbing.
Yeah,
It forces you to look at the dark side of people.
And there's a whole thing about technology, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like with Shinji Mamura, the hacker kid.
Right. He tries to use his skills to fight back.
He's like a symbol of resistance.
Totally. But it also shows how hard that is. Like, he can hack into the school system.
He even tries to send a distress signal.
But in the end, he can't beat the organizers. It's like they have all the power.
It makes you think about how much we rely on technology and how easily it can be used to control us.
Oh, for sure. Like, all the surveillance we have now, it's not that different from the callers in the book.
And the book shows what that can lead to, like
Right. Paranoia,
no privacy.
loss of freedom,
It's a warning.
big time.
And it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how it's used to dehumanize people.
Right. Like the callers, the weapons, the zones. It's all designed to turn them into objects, not people.
It's like saying that technology can bring out the worst in us.
And make us more violent, more controlling.
So the question is, what happens when we give too much power to the people who control the technology?
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, what does it mean for our freedom, our rights, our humanity?
That's heavy.
It is, and it's something we have to think about because we're seeing more and more surveillance in the real world, more data collection.
More control over information.
So what do you think? Is technology good, bad, or somewhere in between? And what about the parallels with the book? Do you think they're valid?
It's a lot to think about.
It is, but it's important, and it connects to everything we've been talking about with Battle Royale.
So much to unpack.
So much, but we'll dive into the ending next time, the climax of the book.
Yeah, it's a wild one.
It's going to be good.
Man, when you get to the end of Battle Royale, it's like
I know.
everything just ramps up.
The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife.
It really is. You're right there with Shuya trying to protect Noriko, and
Yeah.
Kazua's still out there.
He's like a Terminator at this point.
Totally. He's just this force of nature.
And then there's Shugo, still so mysterious.
Yeah, you never really know what he's going to do.
Is he good? Is he bad? What's his deal?
And then, bam, he betrays them.
That was crazy.
I know, right? It comes out of nowhere.
It makes you question everything.
Like, was he ever really on their side?
Was it all just an act?
I think that's what Takami wants us to think about.
Yeah, it makes Shugo such a fascinating character.
Totally. He's like the symbol of how messed up the whole situation is.
Like, good and bad don't even mean anything anymore.
Right. It's all about survival.
But even when he betrays them, there's this weird sense of,
But I know.
like, he still helps them escape.
Yeah, he gives them a chance.
But it costs him his life.
So what was he really thinking? Was it like a last act of redemption or just another way to protect himself?
I don't know. It's such a great ending.
It really makes you think.
And even though Shuya and Noriko get off the island, it's not like happily ever after.
No, they're still screwed.
They're fugitives now, hunted by the government.
It shows how this game just keeps following them.
It's like the trauma never really goes away.
And it brings us back to that idea of authoritarianism.
Right, the government's power is everywhere.
They can't escape it.
So Battle Royale, it's not just about surviving a game.
It's about so much more.
It's a warning about what happens when people in power get too much control.
When they stop caring about human life.
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful message.
It really makes you think about the world we live in.
And the choices we make.
So for everyone listening, what are you taking away from Battle Royale? What's stayed with you?
Did any of the characters or themes really resonate with you?
And how does this whole story connect to your own life, your own experiences? It's a crazy book, but it's also super thought-provoking.
It really makes you question human nature.
And the choices we make when things get really tough.
I think that's why it's still so relevant today.
Definitely. Battle Royale is a book that sticks with you.
It's a wild ride.
For sure.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Battle Royale.
Yeah, this was a good one.
It really was. And we'll be back soon with another episode of Books and Bytes.
See you then.